There we go. Okay. So today we're talking about elevate powerful thinking and how you can elevate your thinking. So, what is powerful thinking? Powerful thinking, in my perspective, description, is when you're able to consciously use your thoughts, observe them, shift and change them to create the reality that you desire. So, powerful thinking, how do we get into a state of powerful thinking? How can you bring powerful thinking into your life? There are a couple things you can do to create this. And one of the things is removing blocks, limiting beliefs, and working through some trauma that may be keeping you stuck. And that's a really big one because your thoughts and your thinking come from your beliefs. When you're growing up, when you have a specific environment, you're surrounded by specific people, you're growing up in a conditioned environment, conditioned whether it's a wealth mindset, a poverty mindset, a kindness mindset, whatever mindset that is, right? You're growing up in that conditioned state. And so those conditions then dictate your beliefs, especially between the ages of 0 to 7. Your mind grabs onto those beliefs and starts thinking like the people around you. So if you were growing up in an environment where people were telling you you couldn't be an artist, that that's not something that people ever make money on, that that is impossible, that you're never going to be successful doing what you love. And one person in that environment might be like, I'm going to do this, you watch me, and this is going to be amazing. And another person might really take this personally, depending on previous conditioning and beliefs, and start thinking, oh, you're right, I should go into another field like nursing or being a doctor or an engineer or maybe something else. And so that's just one example to show how powerful your thinking can be and how powerful it is. And so, if your thoughts are powerful enough to create your reality, how can you start using your mind and your thinking to your advantage? When we tap into that powerful thinking, your thinking becomes at a state where you're consciously aware, you're observing your thoughts, you are working on your beliefs, you're having the awareness to see your thoughts kind of like clouds passing by and seeing which ones you would like to grab onto and which ones you can just let go. Bringing powerful thinking into your life. So, the removal of blocks, limiting beliefs, and working through trauma that's keeping you stuck. That's a really, really big one. And here's another really great one, is replacing those limiting beliefs with new ones. And this is something I really had to work on when I started my mindset journey. How did I shift and change that? And how did I move into a state where I started experiencing powerful thinking? I started really looking into who I was, working through the things that felt really uncomfortable to look at, and understanding where I can shift. So your thinking and your thoughts come from your beliefs. And when we look at a belief could be that you're not good enough, that you won't be successful, that you don't know how to be successful, that you don't know how to run a business, right? These could all be limiting beliefs, keeping you from the desire that you want to see in your life. And so how do we move into an elevated thinking state where you're able to focus on the desire? Shifting your thinking really starts with thinking new patterns and replacing the old belief. So, for example, if your belief is I am not good enough, you could start affirming a new belief to yourself of I am worthy of everything that I desire. I am so happy and grateful that I am now living my best life. You know you're worthy and deserve the things that you desire. And so little things like affirmations and learning your mindset and really asking yourself the right questions bring you into an altered state of awareness. And this state of awareness is where your thoughts shift and change, where your beliefs shift and change, and where you're able to actually look at one piece of paper that has all of the beliefs that maybe you previously had, and you're not really able to recognize that person anymore. Imagine being in that state.
If you're interested in continuing your journey to learn and grow as a human being, I am so excited to introduce the Stardust Container, where you can continue your journey of growth for $1 for your first month.